Did you know that the story of humanity itself begins in Africa? It's not just a regional side story, it's the very starting point of our species. So, how much do you really know about the history of this foundational continent? Let's test your knowledge with some surprising trivia. First, let's go back to the very beginning. Where did the earliest humans originate? The answer lies in East Africa. Fossil evidence of early hominins has been unearthed in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania, solidifying this region as the cradle of humankind. But can you name the famous fossil discovered in Hadar, Ethiopia, in 1974, a discovery that revolutionized our understanding of human evolution? Lucy, an Australopithecus afarensis, is the correct answer. Her discovery provided invaluable insights into early hominin bipedalism and morphology. Speaking of early humans, which gorge in Tanzania is renowned as one of the most important paleoanthropological sites in the world, yielding a wealth of fossil remains and stone tools? The answer is Olduvai Gorge, a site that continues to provide crucial evidence about our ancestors' lives. Now, let's jump forward in time to the rise of ancient civilizations. Which mighty civilization developed along the Nile River, its unification traditionally dated to around 3100 BC under the pharaoh Numa? Of course, it's ancient Egypt, famed for its pyramids, pharaohs, and complex religious beliefs. But do you know which major civilization and rival to Egypt flourished in present-day Sudan, even ruling Egypt as the 25th dynasty? That would be Nubia, also known as Kush, a kingdom whose influence extended far beyond its borders. Around 744 BC to 656 BC, the kingdom of Kush controlled Egypt, a fact often overlooked in historical narratives. Now, shifting our focus westward, which city, founded by Phoenician settlers in what is now Tunisia, is traditionally dated to 814 BC and became a major Mediterranean power? That's Carthage, a city that famously clashed with Rome in the Punic Wars. Moving eastward, which kingdom, located in present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea, emerged as a major Red Sea power by the 1st century CE and adopted Christianity under King Izona in the 4th century CE? The answer is Aksum, a kingdom whose influence stretched across trade routes connecting Africa, Arabia, and the Indian Ocean. Turning southward, which magnificent city, flourishing approximately from the 11th to the 15th century CE, was a major center of trade and state formation in southern Africa, its impressive stone structures a testament to its power? That would be Great Zimbabwe, a site that continues to inspire awe and wonder. Let's move on to the medieval period. Which empire rose to prominence in the 13th century in West Africa, with Sundiata Keita traditionally associated with its founding around 1235? The Mali Empire, renowned for its wealth, trade, and the legendary pilgrimage of its ruler. Speaking of which ruler, can you name the Mali emperor who ruled in the early 14th century and whose pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 caused a sensation with his immense wealth? That was Mansa Musa, whose reign marked the pinnacle of the Mali Empire's power and influence. Following Mali, which empire became dominant in West Africa from the 15th to the 16th centuries, with Askia Muhammad seizing power in 1493 and establishing a golden age of scholarship and trade? The Songhai Empire, a successor to Mali, continued the region's legacy as a center of learning and commerce. Now, let's fast forward to the era of colonial partition and resistance. Which African empire achieved a stunning victory against an Italian invasion at the Battle of Odwa on March 1, 1896, becoming a symbol of resistance against European colonialism? The Ethiopian Empire, whose victory under Emperor Menelik II secured its independence and inspired anti-colonial movements worldwide. Which Zulu leader rose to prominence in the early 19th century, transforming the Zulu kingdom into a formidable military power that challenged British expansion in southern Africa? Shocker. Zulu, whose military innovations and leadership reshaped the political landscape of the region. The Berlin Conference, held from 1884 to 1885, formalized the European partition of Africa. But how many African representatives were present at this conference where their continent's fate was decided? 0. The conference, which accelerated the scramble for Africa, took place entirely without African representation. Which horrific event, occurring between 1904 and 1908 in German Southwest Africa, now Namibia, stands as one of the first genocides of the 20th century, targeting the Herero and Nomo peoples. The Herero and Nomo genocide, a dark chapter in colonial history. And which rebellion, erupting between 1905 and 1907 in present-day Tanzania, saw Africans unite against German colonial rule, using traditional beliefs and practices as a source of resistance. The Moji Moji Rebellion, a testament to the fierce determination of Africans to resist colonial oppression. Which two African states are generally recognized as having avoided full colonial conquest in the classic sense, although both faced major external pressure and intervention. The Ethiopian Empire and Liberia, though both navigated complex political landscapes to maintain their sovereignty. Liberia was founded in 1847 as an independent republic. Now, let's move into the era of decolonization and independence. Which sub-Saharan African colony became the first to gain independence in the post-war era, achieving its freedom on March 6, 1957. Ghana, under the leadership of Kwame Nkrumah, became a beacon of hope for the continent. When did Nigeria gain its independence? Nigeria became independent on October 1, 1960, marking a significant step in the decolonization of West Africa. And when did Algeria finally gain its independence from France after a long and bloody war that lasted from 1954 to 1962? Algeria gained independence on July 5, 1962, after a protracted struggle for self-determination. Which organization, founded on May 25, 1963, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, aimed to promote unity, solidarity, and cooperation among African states? The Organization of African Unity, later replaced by the African Union in 2002, sought to foster a shared sense of identity and purpose among African nations. Let's explore some lesser-known details that often get overlooked. What was the name of the major urban center in present-day Mali that thrived by around 250 BCE, developing without a centralized monarchy in its earliest phase? Genjino, a testament to the diversity of urban development in ancient Africa. Which university, founded in Fez, Morocco, in 859 CE, is often cited as the world's oldest existing degree-granting university, a testament to Africa's rich intellectual traditions? The University of Al-Qarawiyyin, a center of learning that has been in continuous operation for over 1,000 years. Which city became a renowned center of scholarship in the 15th and 16th centuries, boasting the Sankore Mosque School complex that helped support extensive manuscript traditions? Timbuktu, a city whose libraries and scholars attracted students from across Africa and beyond. Which ports were deeply connected to Indian Ocean trade, forming a cosmopolitan trading zone from roughly the 8th century CE onward, with cities like Kilwa, Mombasa, and Zanzibar serving as key hubs? The Swahili Coast, a region whose trade networks connected Africa to Arabia, Persia, India, and later China. The Ethiopian Empire used a long imperial tradition and a written literary culture in which language? Guizi, an ancient Semitic language that remains important in Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church traditions. What about the Akan states of West Africa, including Ashanti? What were they known for? They developed complex political and military systems, demonstrating sophisticated governance structures. Which kingdom in present-day Uganda had highly structured royal institutions? The Buganda Kingdom, known for its intricate system of governance and social organization. Finally, let's consider some of the major technological and agricultural developments that originated in Africa. What are some of the crops whose domestication and spread were foundational to African food systems? Sorghum, palm millet, teff, yams, and oil palm, all of which played crucial roles in shaping African agriculture and diets. So, how did you do? Africa's historical depth is vast, its civilizations have shaped world history, and its anti-colonial politics have influenced the modern international order. The story of humanity truly begins here, a fact we should never forget. What surprised you most about Africa's hidden history?